Hey all, it's Chaos here, and firstly I'm going to apologize in advance. I am unfortunately a little bit sick. So far it just seems to be some run-of-the-mill sinus stuff, but probably going to sound a little funny, and I may have to turn and cough a couple times, kind of clear my throat a little bit, so I do apologize for that. But at the start of the video here, I'm showing you here, yes, this is my YouTube studio page, and I'll notice that I'm in my comment section, and that's because the quitting Splatoon video, little rant BS video I did a few days ago, ended up getting a lot more comments than I am used to, some of which were fairly positive, some of which were fairly neutral, and then there was a handful of them that I guess that's really the only response I can give, without outright calling them out for exactly what they are. So I figured I could turn some of the comments, or rather all of them actually, because this shouldn't take me too horribly long, into a video, because you know what, screw it, why not? It potentially can be funny. I also figured it would be a little better to actually more personally respond instead of just typing out long responses like some kind of a keyboard warrior. But I wanted to start by showing this is my YouTube studio page, so I'm not editing this stuff, I'm not changing any of it, but I am going to zoom in on this part here in post so that you can actually read it. And we're at the bottom, you can see here, we go here, that's a different video, and then from here up, it's all the Splatoon video. So, without further ado, I'm going to do this just in order from oldest to newest, so we're going to start at the bottom, go up to the top. Okay, so, I'm staying Splatoon, okay? I never said you couldn't. Just because I'm not having fun with it and I'm choosing to stop doesn't mean that you have to stop too. Like, you're having fun with it, go for it. It's your life. Do what you want with it. I never said anybody else has to stop just because I'm not having fun. Like, how arrogant would you have to be to go around saying shit like that? I'm not having fun with something. I don't like the thing, therefore you can't either. Actually, that's just blue checkmark Twitter in a nutshell, isn't it? Anyway, moving on. That's impossible. How can I live in a world where I don't have an excuse to bitch and moan online? And then the immediate response, I'm staying Splatoon right now. I'm sorry, buddy. I hate to call you out like this, but I think the joke kind of went over your head there. I'm like 99% sure that that was sarcasm. I'm sorry to call you out like that, friend, but yeah, I think that joke kind of went over your head. I'm on and off with the game. It's fun when I play it in short bursts, whether it be a few days at a time or just playing for a few hours a few times a month. Mainly come back for the Splatfests and the like. And Splatfest, like the 1-year anniversary, was a nice time, but it's definitely not captivating me as much as 2 did in the few years I played. So while I'm not dropping it, I can understand why you would. See, this guy understands. Like, hey, like, there are issues. I understand that they are there. I understand that, it might be enough to make someone quit. I'm not going to, but you can. Like, see, this guy understands. Just because someone else is not liking a thing doesn't mean everybody else has to hate it too. I'm only holding out till the final fest and side order, then I'll just be doing PBs most of the time. That's entirely fair. Just, I mean, if that's all you want to do, again, go for it. Your life. Do what you want with it. I can definitely understand holding out for the DLC, because apparently I saw this on Twitter, I think yesterday. Was it yesterday or was it this morning? I don't remember which, but apparently they gave a rough time estimate of when that should be out, and it's not as long as I thought it would be, so hey, at least you don't have to hold out for too long, huh? Bro just described Pro Chara. I don't know who that is. Hold on one moment. I'm assuming it's this guy here on YouTube with the...
There's a very infamous match.
Okay, let's not get copyright struck into oblivion. Yeah, it looks like a Splatoon YouTuber. I'm not entirely sure what that means by the comment. I'm assuming maybe they're not having a whole lot of fun but still forcing themselves to play anyway? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that, sir, because I frankly don't know who that is. Sorry. Oh, that's right. So this one, I'm not going to read this all out, but this whole thread here, which I will slowly scroll so that you can read it if you wish. This whole little thread here is precisely why I avoided the Splatoon community in general. for a very long time, and even when I was around, I guess, I was fairly inactive, because stuff like this is just... it boggles my mind how people do this as standard. Like, just let people enjoy things, man. Come on, why do you have to take things way too seriously? Come on, just why? Anyway, thinking of taking a break playing Splatoon, or at least take a break on the Splatfest, because it's not as fun anymore, and it sucks because Splatoon was one of the reasons why I started animations. Oh, you do animations? That's kind of cool. I guess because I'm a casual player, being paired up with Sweats, but the only reason I didn't archive it yet is the DLC, and I hope comes out soon after how the Splatfest was. Well, that's entirely fair. Hopefully your animation stuff goes well. I didn't realize you do that kind of stuff, but hey, that sounds kind of cool. I always wished I could draw, but I don't have the patience to learn, because I'm one of those people where if I don't get it within the first few tries, I give up and rage quit, essentially, with a lot of different things, which I do kind of hate about myself, and I am working on it, but yeah, I'm still pretty bad about that. With the immediate follow-up, I'm probably going to stop playing myself after my online subscription runs out. Oh, happens to run out before side order. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, I gotta decide whether or not to bother to renew my online subscription. Probably won't, because I'm lazy, and I've mostly been playing single-player games on my Switch lately. I've actually been replaying a couple of the Fate Extra games, because those have been fun. In all honesty, I agree with you, but also, am I the only one that thinks Splatoon 2 was the best Splatoon game? That's really just a matter of personal opinion. I had a lot of fun with it, although I had the Japanese version because my Switch was a Splatoon 2 like bundle when that came out, and I didn't realize that there was going to be language/region difference things that I couldn't change just in the settings menu or whatever. So not only was mine entirely in Japanese, but I also got to flex on all the non-JP server people by having all the Koro gear, which some people got a little angry with, and others were just kind of more like, oh, you lucky little... Anyway, immediate follow-up, not the only one, but I can't say I do. Splatoon 2 multiplayer for the longest time was a meta mess, and people had equal disdain for the maps. It definitely managed better through, though, and feels like Splatoon 3 only has been better in theory and not in practice. I think they refined a lot in 3, but the things they didn't have either gotten worse or stick out as a sore thumb. Plus, it seems they added a little too late for a game series that released its sequel on the same system. Yeah, I thought that was a little weird that we were getting a sequel on the same system instead of just like a really big update with like an expansion pass, like to access the new story and stuff. I mean, but I'm not one of the suits at Nintendo that makes those decisions. So don't want to quit Splatoon. It's helped me through a lot of rough times, so it feels wrong to leave Splatoon when it's going through a dark time. Yeah, I can completely understand that. Whatever it is that pulls you out of the darkness, you don't want to leave it behind. I can definitely understand that, so more power to you, friend. Hopefully things get a little better. I think more people need to hear a message like this. If you don't like something, there's no point in beating yourself against a wall trying to force yourself to enjoy it. Personally, I adore Splatoon 3, but I still won't ignore its problems, and I'm sorry the community was so elitist towards you. Good luck wherever else you go. Hey, I appreciate that sentiment, brother. It wasn't the community entirely that was elitist. It was really just a select handful, but they were very loud and annoying and kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, so to speak. But I appreciate the sentiment nonetheless, friend, and good luck with everything else you're doing. Well, this is a bit of a longer one. I apologize in advance. I do understand the issues, but some of us complain, but of course it should be in a civil matter, entirely fair, because we want to make it better. I personally don't really complain, but I do see issues in Splatoon 3. But honestly, with the new maps being seen as great, I think it will start to get better. I mean, to me, they still looked like they were kind of thrown together in a Tetris piece map, but that's also because I'm not a fan of whoever controls mid wins map design in any game, for that matter. So, anyway, continuing on. Honestly, I do variety stuff, so I balance it out with other games like Fortnite and Deep Rock Galactic. Oh, Deep Rock Galactic is supposed to be fun. But I don't think I'll ever quit Splatoon due to its story, lore, world building, and core gameplay. Lol. Honestly, I don't think I've ever quit a game while I just plan ahead and plan out what I want to play. Usually play with friends. Like, yeah, see, I'm unfortunately stuck with single player most of the time because the vast majority of my friends are overseas, and it's kind of a pain with different time zones and schedules and all that. So I've been playing a lot of single player stuff myself, but I can definitely understand wanting things to be better, and spacing things out is good. That way you get a little break from one thing, and then by the time you start to get sick of that, you have something else you can move on to. Although personally I wouldn't put Fortnite in that list, but I'm not. That's mostly just because of my disdain towards Battle Royale games in general. Oh, here comes the negativity. Weak take. People love things and want them to be better. If you're not in that boat, that's fine. Don't belittle other people by dismissing them, voicing their feelings as bitching. Some people are passionate enough about their hobbies to advocate for change. Maybe you could use something like that in your life, something you care about enough not to leave. And then immediate follow-up, get off the boat. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's not that I don't care. It's just that, one, I have other things to do that are a little more important and relevant to my actual everyday life. Not saying that, the game can't be, but for me, that kind of stuff is just lower on the priority list compared to stuff that, especially since I'm trying to career jump. I'm not saying that, people genuinely advocating for change are bitching, but there are a lot of people that are just bitching about stupid shit. You can see it in any community. I'm only calling out Splatoon specifically because it was a Splatoon-themed video. So, wasn't meant to be all that super serious anyway. It was literally just a rant that I went on for, just under 10 minutes or something like that? I don't even remember exactly how long it was. Not to mention, it wasn't really supposed to be a take. It was literally just a BS rant. Like, whatever. Anyway, I learned a new term today, Sweatsville. Thank you. I love that. I see. That's just a term that I've been using that for forever. Just, welcome to Sweatsville. It's all, everybody's sweating their tails off here. Like, I've been using that forever. So, but hey, maybe if we can get more people to say that, we can make that a thing. To be honest, I played after a year story mode. Felt like I escaped from prison. Online mode can be fun, but the maps are just bland without vision. Not to mention, it's running on Switch Online, which is, come on, everyone knows how Switch Online is. So yeah, I understand you. Same, dude. Yeah, Switch Online has been proving itself to be kind of spotty for a lot of games, I think. Which, lag is definitely something that frustrates me, but at the end of the day, like, it's not that big of a deal for some things, at least comparatively. Obviously, if, like, some of the other issues weren't really that present or even really that big of a deal, then obviously the lag would be the main thing I would have had an issue with, but anyway. Oh, here comes another long one. Oh, Jesus, this guy wrote me half a damn novel. Had you thought the people who offer to coach you aren't trying to get you on board competitive and just see you aren't playing that well and want to help you? Okay, why does it have to be... Anyway, I lost my train of thought. Even if you don't care, at least don't disrespect them like that. Well, maybe if they would have followed my freaking rules in my Twitch thing, because even before I started having people coming in like that, I had a Twitch rule that basically said, don't ask me about this stuff, I don't know about it, and I don't really care to know, because it's not really any of my business, so not my fault they broke the rule. The only difference was, but after I started having issues with those people, I had to make the rule a bit more specific instead of very general. Also, my guy, there are people with full-time jobs, successful in other things besides the game, like myself, and with busy schedules still have time to be good. Okay, good for them. I'm sorry, I don't have the kind of time, comparatively, I guess. Everybody's schedule is different. Like, and I'm sorry that I'm in the middle of one career trying to potentially jump to a different one. I've got a bunch of language tests I have to study for. A bunch of job qualification stuff I'm working on. Like, I'm sorry that I just comparatively don't have the time and also simultaneously don't have the patience. Like, it's not something I've ever really cared that much about, so I'm not really going to prioritize it. But hey, if you want to, good on you. X rank in both 2 and 3 for myself and top 5% in every big run. Okay. Good for you? Again, I don't really care about that. I don't really care about comp shit. Just because you can't be the same, don't belittle and act like they're elitists. I'm not... Dude, I feel like this guy is projecting. Like, I feel like I'm not the only person that's had issues with certain people like that. And he's, like, I feel like this dude's taking it personally. Like, come on, bro. Yes, there are but only a few act like you are better because you way to have fun when clearly you don't have fun because you need to adapt or improve to have fun with these kind of games. Okay, you do not need to play, you know, optimally or according to the meta to have fun. If the only way to play was the meta way, they wouldn't have the non-meta weapons even in the game. It would be like if you had the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and then because the only gun that pretty much everybody would run was the freaking M16, at least when I played a bit of it. It's pretty much the only thing that everybody ran was the M16. By that logic, they should just uninstall all the other shit, because it's not meta. It's not the optimal way. Like, stuff like that exists for people to choose how they want to play. Not everyone has to take it seriously. Not everyone needs to play optimally. Or, alternatively, the optimal way to play is just to have fun. Like, who cares? Nobody's getting hurt. Why you gotta take it so seriously? Sometimes you can't do that just because you refuse to change or adapt. Again, why do I have to play with a competitive mindset here? Why do I have to play according to the optimal competitive way? Why can't I just have fun? Why can't I just do my own thing? Why can't I just turn my brain off and do whatever I want? Nobody cares. Oh, Jesus, and the response is even longer. Similar to the FGC and fighting games in general way, too. Okay, I don't really know a whole lot about fighting game competitive stuff, because I don't really play fighting games in general, because they're not really all that fun to me. Just really not. Doesn't matter how good or bad I do, I don't have fun. I don't really feel like reading all this out loud, because my voice is starting to go. Literally meant to be competitive in some aspects. Yeah, some, not all. Not everything has to be an absolute sweat fest. If the developers did not want casual style play, they would not have casual options. They would literally only have do competitive stuff. Here's the meta stuff. You can only use these. They would not have other options available for you to choose how you want to play. Not everything needs to be competitive. Calm down. Yeesh. Would like to, but there's nothing else like Splatoon out there right now. That's entirely fair. There's not really a whole lot else that you can really compare it to. So, I guess that's one reason to stick around, but at the same time, maybe try putting it down for a little bit. And if you, after like maybe a couple weeks, say, for an example, you really want to go back to it, by all means, go ahead. But if after that said couple weeks you're kind of maybe feeling something else, maybe just move on to something else and keep Splatoon in the back burner so that you have something to come back to later on, huh? They need to make something that separates casual and for fun players from competitive and or tryhard. Like, I try to play for fun and end up facing competitive people with meta weapons and gear. I love Splatoon, but it's hard for it to love you back. That's kind of what I was saying, was that if you're gonna have both casuals and competitive, you need to have a way for both to get the experience they want. You need to have that option, because otherwise with everyone forced to intermingle like that, you're gonna have some people on one side saying, no, everything needs to be competitive, you need to do it this way, and then everybody else on the other side is gonna go, no, we should be able to do whatever we want. It's pretty obvious which side of that camp I'm on. Anyway, I've been rambling too long, my voice is about to go out, and yeah, I don't regret making this video in any regard. Bye.